Now, the last thing we want to do for this exercise is to revisit auto layouts. One of the things I want us to build this week is a little news feed scroll. In order to do this, let's grab some news items from any news source that you got. I like theonion.com. It's a great satire news website, but you could easily go to any news website you like. CNN, Fox, ABC, NBC. You can even go to any of the Associated Press, wherever you want to get any kind of headlines, pictures, and body copy. Now, the main thing I want to do is I want to build a app or a news feed that kind of mimics the style that you would see on this page. So I want to pay attention to the typefaces that they use and the layout and some of the basic idea of how they've done this. Now, in order to do this, I'm going to take a screenshot real quick of just this particular area. And I'm going to bring that screenshot in here just to make it easier to see everything. So from here, I'll go down and let's pull in my image. I've got my image on my desktop, and there's my screenshot. Remember, once it brings it in as a screenshot, it's going to follow your cursor until you click and drag. The next thing I want to do is just to kind of create a dummy mock-up. For my news feed, all I need is an area to place a picture and an area for headlines and body copy, and I want to have some area for a date. For now, I'm going to grab my type tool. I'm going to click and drag. And remember, when you click and drag, this is going to give you a containment box that whatever you type in stays inside that area. So this box being area type is going to be important. For this one, I'm going to copy this headline and simply paste it into here. Next, I need to find a font that kind of matches that style. Now, it doesn't have to be exactly the same font, but I can go over to my typography, choose my fonts, and just scroll through till I find something that looks relatively close. In my case, I can see that it's a serif type, and that serif type has a really narrow kind of feature. Now, this may take just a few moments, but I think, yeah, that one looks pretty good right there. Frank Libra. All right, with that done, again, it's not 100% perfect. Maybe I'll make sure it's in bold. What does this look like as extra bold or black? I think that's okay for mine. And then finally, I'll maybe choose a size that I think fits nicely with it. Next, let's bring on something for the publish date. So I'm going to copy this. And once again, I'm going to grab my type tool, click and drag, paste it, and I want something that matches that. Now that's super simple. That's a serif font. And so for this one, maybe we'll choose something simple like this. Bring the size down just a bit. And again, all I'm doing is eyeballing this. And certainly the color of this is going to be not full black, but just a middle gray. And then finally, let's do something for body copy. Now, instead of getting the entire article, I really just want to copy maybe the first sentence or two, just a brief summary of how it would start. So I'm going to copy that. And one more time, grab my type tool, create a text box that matches it, paste it in there. Now I'm looking for a basic little serif font that I think would flow nicely with this one. I think that looks good. Hey, one of the things I noticed is there's a good amount of space between both of these. If this is the case for yours, remember you can select your type, and in your typography at the bottom, you can open up the settings, and this will allow you to adjust the further settings that you have on this. In our case, we can do our paragraph spacing. You can start to increase it. Oops. I'm sorry, I have the wrong thing. Not paragraph spacing. I want line height. Going back up here, let's adjust our line height from being auto to, let's do anything above this. So we'll highlight it. And now I can click and drag and scrub. Now we go. Now I can space it out. I think that's looking much better. And I'm going to take it off of bold just to match the size of this. Again, this is something just to play around with, and it doesn't have to be perfect. I just need something that I can work from. Finally, let's bring on an image that we can use from this as well too. So with this, I'll copy the image straight from here and I'll paste it into my design. Remember, when you copy and paste, it'll place it inside of its own containment box. You can then scale it down to fit your area. Now let's play around with adding some auto layout to all of this. Grab your frame tool and let's highlight or excuse me, not highlight, but simply drag a frame over everything that we have. If nothing appears inside of it, like you can see how my text wasn't in here, make sure to go to your layers panel. And if there's anything that's not inside of it, simply drag it inside of your frame. And now it's part of it and you can see it as well. So it's all inside. And if necessary, maybe I'll adjust the size of this frame too. Now with frame 1 selected, not all the content, just the frame itself, remember we can turn on auto layout, and by default it should choose vertical as the alignment. And if it doesn't, you can click on vertical and you'll notice everything starts to line up. Now we can also change the placement and alignment of everything. Rather than it being centered, just make sure it's aligned somewhere to the left, and so everything lines up nicely to this side. The best part about using this is that we can adjust the spacing between everything. So if necessary, we can click and drag and it will automatically set that spacing. Plus, if we wanted to adjust the placement of everything, notice if I didn't want the picture to be on top, I can click it and automatically drag and it instantly reflows everything and it stays inside of this alignment. And so this is kind of the advantage of working with auto align. Some other things you may need to play around with are some of the padding. Once again, make sure the frame is selected. And we've got the sizing for everything. We want it to hug the size of it. So the width, rather than being a fixed width, hug the contents. And then, obviously it's way too big, so we've got some issues that we need to fix for this. When I turned on hug the content, this automatically made everything super huge. Well, the reason for this is the containers for each thing. Notice if I select my picture, it automatically has the sizing to be fill the container. Well, I want it to be a certain set size or a certain minimum width or a minimum height. Let me undo what I just did. Let's bring it back down to size. Okay, so now it's inside of its frame. Here's some things we need to make sure you've got turned on for yours before we turn on auto hugging for the entire frame. First, let's select each of the different text frames. So I've got my headline text, this one up here. The width of it needs to be an auto height. We want the width of this to fill up the entire frame, so that's okay for this. And the height of it can be adjusted. This means if I needed to, I can type in whatever size I need it to be or whatever new text headline, and it stays the same width, but the height of it is always going to grow. And so that's what we want to keep for this one. Next, let's do the same for the date that we have. Once again, make sure that the width or the resizing is just going to adjust the height of it. And we'll do the same for this down here. So that's looking good for that. That picture is what really gave us the most trouble. With my picture selected, because I copied and pasted it, the width of it was set to automatically fill the container. Instead, we want to keep it at a solid fixed width. And so we're going to set the width to be a fixed dimension, whatever dimensions that you have. And you can do the same thing for the height if necessary, or if you set it to fill the container, it may automatically adjust from here as well. But we're just going to keep it at a fixed height or a fixed width. With this selected now, let's choose our frame one more time. And now when we turn on the width hugging, it'll hug the contents and it'll keep everything nice and together. So we've fixed that problem if that problem comes up for you. Plus, we've made it easier to make changes in the future. Later on, if I need to, I can go back and I can change my story. And automatically you can see how it readjusts the size of this to fit the size of the story that I have. And so that's working really nice. With my frame turned on, if necessary, I can now adjust my padding. Remember, padding is the amount of space on the edges that gives you some white space or some margin. You can manually dial in the amount of padding that you want at the top and bottom and the sides, or you can dial in on the sides over here. So maybe I'll give it just a little bit more of a breather space. You never want to have your text touching the edge of a frame. You always want to have some nice space in between it. Finally, I can put this in the order that I want it to be. Let's put my picture back up top. And you can change it up however you want yours to be. You can see on the original Onion, they've got the headline first and then the picture, but this is the way I want to change out mine. Now, the final thing I wanted to show you when working with auto layouts is what if we wanted to add some little special icon or something to our design that breaks the mold of this. Let's say I made one more frame. I'm going to grab my type tool and I'm going to type out top story. So this will be our top story. I'll choose a font that matches our design. So I really should be saving these as a style, but just for the sake of keeping everything go simple. So this will be our top story, and I'm going to put this inside of a frame. Remember, you can right click on it and choose frame selection. This will put a frame inside of it. And so for maybe my frame, I'm going to fill it in with just white, and I'm going to turn on auto layout so that I can add some padding to it. It's going to hug my contents. Give it a little bit of a margin, top and bottom. That looks good. Bring it in a bit more. And then finally, I'll round off the edges of it. So essentially, I just made a little thing. I want to add this inside of my area, and I want to put it like right here. Well, anytime I add something to here, it's automatically still going to flow everything vertically. Because remember, in this frame, we've got auto layout set to vertical. And so that's not what I want it to do. I want it to stay like right here on top of my picture, or I want to put it somewhere else and not have it follow this frame. So what we need to do is to tell this to ignore the positioning in auto layout. In order to do this, have your content selected. So you can see this is my frame number 2. To tell it to ignore auto layout, this is found under the position key, and choose this icon. This will automatically ignore it, and this will allow you to place it wherever you want within your design. So if I wanted it to be there, there it is. It's still part of my frame, so I can move around the entire frame. It's just going to be kind of independent of all the stuff that's automatically flowing. And I can still move things around, and that stays the same. So now I've got a little top story button. Maybe for this one, I'll even add a little drop shadow effect to make it pop out just a little bit more. So there you have it. With that done, I can get rid of my original. Now I've got a super nice frame that fits for my stories. Maybe the last thing I need to do is I can start to use some of the variable text that I've developed for my design, keeping it all the same color and making copies of this for future stories. So if I needed a new one, I can make a copy of this frame, change out my text, and keep rolling. And that's what we're going to do for this week's project. When you're finished with all of this, go up to File, and I want you to save a local copy of this Figma file and upload this Figma file for the unit exercise page.